My daughter is using the good one. Oh, hey, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever the case may be in this bright, wonderful world we call home.
What?
It is the Aloha Hour, and I am once again here, your humble servant, Mike S. Miller. With me tonight, special guest, Andrew Adams.
What?
Andrew Anderson. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Andrew Anderson. I'm a comic book writer, and I've known Mike for a few years now.
Yeah.
So, super excited to be here. Got a campaign coming up for a comic I'm going to do called The Knox.
Alrighty then. And the silver-haired, silken-voiced man from the islands, Edwin Boyd.
Aloha, aloha. I hope everyone is doing just incredibly fantastic tonight.
Well, they are now, Edwin. How was your nap?
It was good. It was good. We've got a night project resuming this evening. We are helping to renovate a Victoria's Secret.
Oh,
so we will be demolishing the interior of a Victoria's Secret. So tonight I will learn Victoria's Secret tonight.
Yeah. And as long as we're still in the middle of introductions, the one, the only, John Malin.
Oh, hello, everybody. Aloha.
I'll see if they have any giant primate panties tonight.
No.
Victoria's Secret, and then we'll get those to John Malin right away.
What did I walk in?
Edwin was explaining what the project he's working on at his real job.
Yeah, we're helping to renovate Victoria's Secret this evening.
Nice. Is the wife giving you an evil eye there, Edwin?
Probably, but that's pretty much par for the course. I imagine she's constantly confounded by the nonsense that comes out of my mouth there in live streams.
Oh man.
Have they not been ticketed yet because they're not referred to as Victor's or Victoria's Secret?
Oh, that's a good question. That is a good question.
No, it's the girly underwear.
It's the curly underwear.
Somebody asked a question. Awesome drawing competition that was so cool to watch and very entertaining. I was watching from a movie theater. So Dennis was at a movie watching our live stream.
Oh,
That's no bueno.
that's Dennis. Dennis Barger. He's the guy who owns the comic shop in Michigan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dennis Baruch.
Yeah, he's opening it up in a movie theater.
Oh, I see.
In Michigan?
Well, my
Yeah,
story sounded better.
He bought a movie theater and he's turning it into a movie theater / comic shop. It's really, really freaking cool.
That's great.
I was supposed to advise him on it, the movie theater side.
Well, I would advise him to buy the multi-pack of Lone Star Heart of the Hero. You can get it for only $250. Actually, I think he might have already.
My wife was just looking at the piece that Gary Shipman did today. Man, that thing came out really good, huh? It's
And
always,
you're into that sort of thing.
who was you had a great piece. Who else did pieces today?
John.
I wasn't anywhere around.
He refuses to admit he was there because he lost.
Aw.
Ben Jones, Elliot Fernandez.
They all lost too.
They all lost. Was there anybody else? Who am I left? I'm forgetting somebody.
Kanan.
Kanan White.
Mm-hmm. He lost too.
And he lost too. Just to make sure you understand. John was
really disappointed in your
He took my
chat
mask.
people. They didn't come through for me.
They didn't come through for me, and it's my chat.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, I gotta fix this.
I need materials.
Where's my tape? I got some tape. Yeah, people are saying I look like I'm in a smoke-filled room. It's because of I have the light gets right on top of the glass here, and it creates like this Horrific. Why isn't this just clean up enough to... Sorry, you guys go talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, that was almost better. There was a moment of focus there where the Vaseline filter came off.
Don't heal.
It does make me look young.
got that Barbara Streisand filter.
Yeah.
So,
So, Andrew, what have you been doing?
Besides working and taking care of some personal life stuff, been pretty good. Me and Ron, we did a live stream last night, and we talked about the Knox and some of her plans and stuff like that. So it was really cool to actually, that was like the first time I actually got to talk to him, like voice to voice. Everything else has been over the last 2 years in text message.
front.
We've been working on it for the Knox for the last 2 years. So it's
wow.
finally good to get it to a point where we're ready to, we finally got the story where we wanted it. So
Very nice. Very nice.
Knee Dynamo said that Mike Diodato Jr. is the latest to spurg out. What's he got? Anyone know anything about that?
Did he really?
I guess.
That's annoying.
You know, what does that mean? What does that mean?
spurg out. It's like freaking out on fans. You know, it's like going ballistic on them because they don't understand. You know, the whole thing we've been going through with the Joe Quesada. That's Joe's spurging out.
Well, and if Joe is listening to this, it is very simple. It is very simple. People are finding more and more reasons to walk away from Marvel, walk away from corporate comics. You know, today is the 17th anniversary of 9/11, and on today you have Ta-Nehisi Coates writing Captain America. The same person who didn't even have the fundamental empathy for 9/11 responders, who saw them as people who could break his body and so forth. And perhaps there was some nuance to that. You know, perhaps he was remarking on himself or whatever. But if you look at his subsequent writings in the Atlantic and in Marvel, you're not uplifted by some growth of opinion. So people are finding almost every reason to walk away from corporate comics. And now there are alternatives for them to walk towards. Continuing to sell fans on top of that. And did you see that post I made about veterans in Comicsgate?
Oh yeah, you got a huge response to that.
Yeah, I've got to add it up, but I think I've had like over 100 different veterans, and people are still coming out. And so this is just within the Comicsgate movement itself. I suspect that the comic book fans or comic book consumers in general may have a higher percentage of veterans than even the rest of the population. And these are the people that they're selling, and these are the people that they can't write for. And so now, add on top of this, people like Jeff Lemire, right? Writer of the century for Marvel, and on top of that, Bill Sienkiewicz calling people KKK Klan members, racist bigots, horrible people. Add on top of that, your former collaborator Tom Taylor.
Come in, Daddy.
This ongoing condemnation. There's no amount that you can scold someone, shame someone, or castigate someone that's going to make them more likely to go purchase your product. And so you're in a death spiral. People, and hey, no one in the audience should ever take what we say for granted, right? Don't take what we say for granted. Go look for yourself, think for yourself, draw your own opinions. But I know of no other industry where you attack a consumer with your mouth and then stretch out a hand, inviting them to open up their wallet and give you money for a product that does not satisfy them. So condemnation on top of that is it's an interesting choice. It is a very interesting choice.
It is the behavior of the entitled and the spoiled brat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What it boils down to.
I just saw in the chat someone said Sierra Whiskey said they were a veteran in Comicsgate. So thank you so much for being a veteran and for sketch therapy. I'm sorry you were attacked today. That's not what I'm about. Let's just bury the hatchet. Let's move on. Guys, stop attacking sketch therapy over John De La Roz. Let's just move on. It's done. It's in the past.
Yeah. I don't want to drag that up.
Yeah.
Gosh, I made a point last night. I think it was last. Gosh darn it! I do so many streams, they all blur.
Much like your camera. Much like your camera.
Much like my camera. But I made a point that what they're doing at Marvel is tearing down our statues, and I thought about it after I had said it, and it's just so
accurate.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing about Marxism and cultural Marxism is you tear down the heroes of the people to replace them with heroes of the state, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing in Charlottesville, or that's what they're doing in comics. They've come in there, and whether it's just ingrained in them or that's just part of the corruption of their entire mindset, so it comes naturally to them. They are tearing down our heroes one by one and replacing them with their others, and it's not even so much about black, girl, gay, whatever. It's tearing down the heroes. That is the vital part. They want to replace the heroes that we believe in, that the culture at large is used to, and replace them with what they revere.
Well, the communists were good for this too. When they took power, and even when their associates took power, like in Yugoslavia, they removed these old figures and they created like a new Santa Claus type figure. Even in Yugoslavia, it was called like Dieter Freeze and stuff. So that they created all these secular, or this new. They decoupled from the past and created these new icons and these heroes. Something I want to tell you beyond this. Sometimes people just say, "Well, why are you getting all worked up about comic books?" Okay. I was thinking about this in the terms of divisionist, like Ta-Nehisi Coates and like Vox Day. They want to separate us into these granular divisions. One thing that comic books and superheroes do for us, though, is they give us a point of commonality. They give us a point of commonality that regardless of your race, your background, your economic status, wherever you grew up, whatever your conditions were, like everybody loves Superman, like that original movie. Everybody loves Superman. Everybody loved Wonder Woman. Everybody loved Batman. They give us these popular entertainment, gives us a common language, gives us common icons, right? And so given that the United States is even so much more diverse than it was just a few decades back, we desperately need points of commonality. All these different little things that bind us together as Americans, right? These different symbols that we can all look at and all form this warm, favorable opinion of something that we could share. And they've depreciated everything. Or they've made it inaccessible except to very specific niches, right? There's no, you don't get Roseanne anymore. You don't get Last Man Standing. Most of the popular entertainment is so offensive to some group that people over wide swaths of society cannot have like a common appreciation for it. They've even done it with football now. Right, with all the shenanigans around the national anthem and all of that. Am I understanding correctly now that they will not televise the national anthem now when they play football games? My wife was saying that they may even be discontinuing the national anthem at football games.
That's just another example, because to a lot of people, those are also heroes, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's like it's planned. It's the planned
Yeah. So,
direction of our culture. Writ
so
large.
here's the deal: if we're going to be a diverse society, we need things that bind us together. We must have it, right? We've got to be able to look at each other and have common terms, common ideas, right? Beyond the immutable characteristics that were picked for us by our parents, right? And this was true. This was true even at the founding of the country, when you had a somewhat more homogeneous country. But it's even more important now, as people are distracted by all sorts of things and forced into scurrysome lives, scrambling to pay their bills and get through the week with so many distractions and so many people shouting at them to hate their neighbor. We desperately need things that will bind us together. And so as silly as some people may think that comic books may be on a larger scale. I'm not willing to give up anything to these weirdos and allow them to turn it into devices of division. Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What say you, John Malin?
Yeah, they don't love comic books. Maybe once upon a time there was love there, but I think once they start crossing over into that far left space, or maybe even far right, but the far right is definitely not in comic books, and the far left is. But yeah, I think the far left specifically, they're not into religion. They're not into, and that's not to say there's not religious people on those sides. I mean, there's always going to be exceptions, but they're not into country. They're into just this idea of globalism, which it sounds great. Yeah, who doesn't want everybody in the world to get along and be well with each other? But without borders, you need something to protect yourselves from the ideas of other people. Ideologies can spread pretty quickly, and it's these cultural differences. As long as there are cultural differences, at least that you're safe in some degree. Because when I said it before, like you need to be careful about what happens in a culture. So when I was a kid, culture dictated these things. If you put your elbows on the table, that's an offense, and that's an offense worthy of a smack. So I mean that should be very concerning, because but that's in the culture. Almost everyone in the Western hemisphere understands that. But then you go off to the Middle East, and showing the bottom of your feet, that's worth a smack. So but you have to be sure that there's these as long as there are cultural differences, then you at least know that there's still something in the world that this big giant monolith of globalism hasn't completely taken over. But you need to protect your cultures, because they will try to eradicate everything that you have and everything you stand for. And there are definitely bad things in every culture. There's things that in my view, smacking a kid or whatever because elbows are on the table, that's a little bit much for me. But look, I mean, there's also the argument for a level of discipline and a level of turning someone into an adult to where they know where to have limits and where to push. So, it's a big discussion, but you have to protect certain things. And right now, the United States of all cultures, from my point of view, does it the best. We are definitely not perfect, but to run headfirst into these socialist ideas, I mean, just show me a country that's doing it and doing it well, that the United States is not providing protection for with our military.
Well,
So
imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace.
Yeah, and that struck me when I think you brought that up yesterday. I went about how the lyrics on that are all actually kind of anti-religion,
Nihilist.
Yeah.
AntiCulture.
Yeah.
AntiCulture. Yeah, they want to strip everything, homogenize.
You know, I used to be a nihilist, but you know what? In the end, nothing really matters.
You just couldn't work up the enthusiasm for some good nihilism, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they're tearing down everything I love. Like I don't even when I was hardcore buying comics after my grandparents died, right around the time Civil War happened. You know, by the time I became
the one in Marvel or the United States Civil War.
The one
I'm
in
just
Marvel.
trying to gauge your age. Okay.
Yeah, the one in Marvel. And, you know, by the time I got to be 21, 22, when my first published work was coming out, I didn't recognize any of the heroes anymore. And it started back then. And then slowly the DC started slipping too. So by today, my favorite characters like Carol Danvers doesn't even look like Carol Danvers anymore.
Carl Manvers.
Yeah.
I brought that up with that Joe Quesada tweeting.
Yeah.
I wonder if he listened at all, or if he's just.
He probably didn't. Yeah, I mean, he's been listening to our complaints, but he hasn't been taking them to heart like a real publisher should be doing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think one time this guy bought the Gears of Bones trade, and he laid into me for the first 22 pages or something about it, and then he's like, and then it got really good. I was like, okay, now I know that the first 22 pages are the most boring for you.
So you didn't book them.
Yeah, start on page 24.
That's not a good sales pitch.
No. For me, I'll just write 22 pages, and then when it gets to 24, you know, I'll just keep going and then not give the artist the first 22 pages.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not sure that was the lesson to be learned either.
Someone in the chat says Andy looks fantastic for being 160 years old.
Oh, it's the blue box I have.
Oh, yes, the police call box. It does wonder for your skin. Gears and Bones is a fun read, says James S. I actually have a copy of that somewhere around here.
The Nox actually looks pretty good to me. Yeah, I like heist stories, so that looks pretty good. Would you call that a heist? Is that a?
Yeah, very much. It's very much inspired by the original Ocean's 11 and Goldfinger by James Bond. But at the same time, you know, it's so weird because most of the people in my generation, I was born in the late 80s, they don't have that direct connection to Vietnam like I did. So growing up in the 90s. So kids growing up in the 80s did because their fathers and grandfathers did it. But by the time I was growing up, most of the people my age didn't had no direct connection to it, no like living memory to it.
Speaking of no direct connection, Mitch Brightweiser in the chat says, "You're not authorized to start this video call. Mike has blocked me from his stream. This is gatekeeping."
Well, that's what Mitch gets for stealing art from our drawing time.
Right. That's right. Oh no, Art was like glad to be gone. I was listening to him on Mitch's stream. He's like, "Oh, you saved me from that stream." I'm like, "What?"
Really?
Yeah, dude. He didn't want to come in here and lose. He wasn't willing to lose. It sounds like.
I tell you what though, for short duration pieces, Gary Shipman, man, is some stiff competition. That guy's pin work is getting so nice. Like
It's brush work.
yeah, looking at where he's going from on his original run on the Packins land to what he can just kind of rattle off now. In a stream, in like an hour and a half, 2 hours is kind of nuts.
Yeah, he does great like portrait work.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey Mitch, do you want in here? I didn't send you the. You might be clicking an old link if you're trying to get in. I thought you were going to sleep though.
I can pick him up. Let's see.
Don't come in here trying to defend Jimi Hendrix either.
Get that weak crap out of here, Brightweiser.
Art is playing the long game. He's laying the mental groundwork to come in and run the table.
Yeah. Speaking of running tables, the heist aspect. I love old heist movies. For that's part of the appeal for me to do the knocks. So I'm doing that, and then I'm doing war comics at the same time. I love war comics too, so I just combine the two together. And I thought this would be so much fun.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks fun.
So that's what I want to do. Is I want to make it fun for the audience. If I can make it fun for the audience, like they're reading an action movie in their hands, that to me is the ultimate goal.
Right on, right on. All right, let's see. What?
Is Blazing Saddles on Netflix?
I think it is.
Okay.
You're gonna watch it, huh?
I'm gonna give it another watch.
If
If it's on Netflix, I'm gonna give it another watch.
You know what my favorite Western comedy is, though? Paint Your Wagon with Clint Eastwood.
Oh yeah, Paint Your Wagon. That's Clint Eastwood, right?
Yeah, or he sings and it's terrible.
Mitch, the Purple Man. Oh yeah, Paint Your Wagon. That's Clint Eastwood, right?
Yeah, or he sings and it's terrible.
Yeah, you're gonna have to turn that off. Everyone can hear it. Mitch, the Purple Man.
Yeah. Hey, how's everybody doing?
Good, Mitch. How are you?
Oh,
Doing great, Mitch.
Mitch, I bet Kelsey loves watching Mitch's channel.
hey, how's everybody doing? Good, Mitch. How are you?
Who's playing theirs? Who's watching their video with the volume up still?
Mm.
Is that you, Mitch?
Yeah, that's me. Sorry. Maybe, I don't know. Is that better now?
It's probably Mitch.
It's probably Mitch. We're all sure it's
Yeah.
We've been talking for at least 30 minutes.
Did you take some of that rooster money and buy a razor? Is that what I'm seeing?
I did. Well, it's a shave. Yeah.
Or is that
It's
just
time
the
to get
artifact
cleaned
of the
up.
purple lighting?
Yeah, Kelsey does like my lights, I'm sure.
You should have just went full beard, Mitch. Give it a go.
Yeah.
Everybody else is doing it.
No. Well, we've been over this. I can't grow a beard.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I can't grow a beard. Yeah. So anyway, I'm not too worried about it. Also, don't have back hair, so I'll live with it.
Oh, there you go.
Mike, have you ever seen The Dirty Dozen?
Of course. Of
They
course.
couldn't make that. They couldn't make that movie today.
Yeah, they couldn't make a lot of movies today. It's sad.
Back to the Future you couldn't make today.
Oh yeah.
I think the first Die Hard you couldn't make today.
Die
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? The
It's
terrorist-
just one of those.
Terrence was a
it's
white
just one
guy.
of
They love that today.
I don't know. I saw Skyscraper and it was an all right remake.
Did they have The Rock vaping instead of lighting up a cigarette every couple moments?
No, they didn't.
Everything's just been kind of sanitized, though. I mean, it's also very beautiful in a very sterile way.
Well, Blake Northcott tweeted out about it. She said a bunch of her nieces and nephews are craving that old 80s and 90s and 70s stuff. And, you know, a lot of the Clint Eastwood movies you wouldn't be able to make today either, like Dirty Harry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, that wouldn't fly at all.
I love that movie though. So great.
Yeah, it's weirdly conservative, but in a strange, inside out kind of way, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Especially some of the later ones. There's a great clip they have on there of the female detective trying to pass her exam, and he's questioning her hard. Such a great scene. My favorite Clint Eastwood scene, though, is the one from The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, that standoff in the graveyard.
Mm.
They're just standing around and they're all drawing their guns, and Clint shoots the one guy with the loaded gun, and the other guy has an empty gun.
Yeah, let me
Got the empty gun.
let me make my screen bag so I can give Brightweiser the standoff eyes.
Mm. Yeah, that scene runs a little long.
What?
The tension is just perfect in it.
No, it's great. It's great with that music box playing. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Mm-hmm.
And the Hateful Eight soundtrack uses some unused pieces from that trilogy too.
Does it really? I didn't
Yeah.
watch The Hateful Eight because I'm so over Quentin Tarantino. I can't stand it.
You know, you're not missing much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been going downhill for a while.
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of people disagree with me, but I didn't like Pulp Fiction. Darn it, the stupid thing.
You're definitely wrong there.
I'm not wrong about it.
I like Reservoir Dogs better.
Reservoir Dogs was great. That's the thing. Quentin Tarantino is a great dialoguist, but he can't write a story to save his life. So Reservoir Dogs was all that great dialogue, but he stole the plot from City on Fire, like scene for scene. And then he just rewrote all the dialogue. And it was great because it had a great story structure already there. And then he just rewrote it. And it was great because he really needs a co-writer, I think, to, help him craft his stories.
Mm. Or you should just keep doing whatever he did there, what you just described.
Yeah, stealing other movies.
Yeah, just steal other movies.
Hey, did you ever watch Aragon?
What's that?
It's that movie about the dragon.
Oh yeah, it's based off that book that the high school
16-year-old kid wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you watch it, it's beat for beat, it's Star Wars.
I mean, the Hunger Games trilogy is Star Wars.
No. I mean, even if I described Aragon to you, you'd think I was describing Star Wars. It's about a young man whose parents are gone. He's living with his uncle, and there's this hooded character that knows this ancient art form that comes to visit him, and there's this princess, and there's this sort of swashbuckling dude. I mean, like beat for beat throughout this movie, if I was just describing it to you, you'd think I was talking about Star Wars. It's like, it's so funny. I mean, right up to the freaking destruction of the Death Star and everything. It's hilarious.
Who's the dragon?
Aragon. The dragon.
No, like in the
Who
Star
played the
Wars.
dragon?
Oh, the dragon is the Force.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's well, hey man, he got rich off it. Speaking of fantasy, do any of you guys even watch Game of Thrones or read it?
Yeah, I watch. I got almost everything on DVD.
Okay. So
I do not. Before you say anything more, I do not pretend to be an encyclopedia on this show. But go ahead.
all right. Well, I had this article. Edwin, do you have it there?
Let me pop it open. Give me a moment.
Did George R. R. Martin finish the book?
No.
No.
So you remember the last episode of the last season where Danny, spoilers for anyone who hasn't, Danny,
Oh, you didn't send me the article.
No, it's in our same chat. It was from the other day.
Let me see.
I didn't use it the other day.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, so you remember when Danny and John go off into the bedroom and then Tyrion's sort of peeking out from behind the door with the strange look on his face, like a concerned look on his face.
Okay.
You remember
What are you getting at? They're related.
well, he doesn't know that at this point. But yeah, so here's Peter Dinklage, and what I think he's doing is this is a fake. I think he's creating a false narrative because he's saying, "Oh, this is why he was creeping on Dany and Jon Snow." But I sincerely doubt it. I think that what is actually happening is Tyrion probably made some sort of a deal with Cersei to take out either Dany or Jon Snow in order to get the promise from Cersei to get her army up to the wall to fight the White Walkers.
Wait, they have a wall
Who
in
do
the
you think
series?
is going to win?
Well, it's the Song of Ice and Fire, so I think Dany and Jon end up together.
No, I mean, like, who's gonna end up being the king or queen of? Oh, both of them together?
Yeah,
That would be incredibly disappointing.
Who are you rooting for, man?
I'm not rooting for anybody. I mean, I think the lesson of the show is like, I mean, you kind of root for the Stark girls. I mean, I think they're the most sympathetic figures. But otherwise, I'm not really rooting for anybody. I don't want it to be predictable. But maybe being predictable is the unpredictable move with Game of Thrones in the finale. I don't know.
That's what it is. Like in the first season, in the first book, nothing you predict ever happens in the entire book. And so when the eggs hatch at the end, which is something you totally predicted, and it actually happens, it was so unpredictable that the predictable happened that it was unpredictable.
I think Peter Dinklage's character is going to win.
Well, yeah, of course.
I think the Aquaman guy is gonna win.
He died.
Dude,
Oh,
I never got
spoiler.
that far.
You never got that far.
I want the Hound. I want the Hound to be the last man standing. It's now that after they killed off the Stark in the what was it, the second or third episode of season 1, I was like, all right, who's left to like here?
No, that was towards the end.
Was it towards the end?
Yeah,
How many episodes was it?
It was probably 2 or 3 episodes from the end.
Yeah.
How many of those books did you draw, Mike?
I didn't draw the books. I've done the covers for the
Okay.
entire first book and 17 of them for the second one so far.
Oh.
So yeah, I still have to do that every month.
How well did those sell, or do you even know, Mike? Are those real
They
popular
don't-
comics?
The pamphlets don't sell well. They sell like 4,000 copies, but the graphic novels themselves are New York Times bestsellers.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's a guy in San Antonio who actually is George R.R. Martin's like official artist or something like that.
Official artist.
Yeah. He's like one of the official artists, like he does the special artist edition books or something like that.
Gary Gianni?
No, the other one, John Picasso.
Him I don't know. I know Gary.
I'll introduce you at Alamo City.
At Alamo.
Woo! Can't wait for that one.
I actually did what I believe is the first officially licensed lithograph of a Game of Thrones. It was the one of Robert and Rhaegar on the Trident.
Oh yeah.
It was like for years it was like the most well-known piece of Game of Thrones art out there. And then this freaking TV show thing happened.
Malin, do you have a particularly favorite character or someone you root for in Game of Thrones?
Yeah, probably the Peter Dinklage character, because I think he's playing everybody and he's going to put himself on the throne.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I think he's going to wipe out his own family and everybody else's family. And then he's going to say some dark character stuff when he sits down on the throne, and that's where they're gonna fade to black.
His feet dangling off like this, and then the camera pulls back out of the hall, and the doors close.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
So you don't know anything about this character, do you?
What? Peter Dinklage's character?
You don't even know his name.
I always get him confused. It's Tyrion or something like that.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. I can't keep track of all their names. I know there's Starks and there's Lannisters and there's what are Westeros, and that's about it. White Walkers, I got those guys. I got the groups more or less. So
Yeah, my wife's like that. She's like, how do you know all these names? I'm like, because they're all in the book. Because in the show, it's like they don't. It's not like someone walks up and you're like, hello, Jorah Mormont, how are you today? It's like, it's if the names pop up, it's all always organically, so they don't say it. They don't say them a lot. So, where's Cecil? I don't know.
So the Stark girl is going to remarry Tyrion Lannister.
There you go.
Isn't that Travier Bolesque?
Travi or what?
Isn't that Bolesque from the X-Men? No, I've got the name wrong.
Oh, you mean the Stark girl?
No, the short dude with the mustache.
Oh,
and
Peter
glasses.
Dinklage.
Yeah.
Peter Dinklage. Travis. No, not Travis. The senator, right?
No, the
No,
guy
not
who
the
built the
senator.
Sentinels.
Trask.
Trask. Bolivar Trask. Yeah.
Oliver Trask. Yeah. Have you heard that? You guys heard that? That Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage.
No.
There's a song. It does the whole thing.
Even now, Miller, I could cut through the four of you like a man carving cake.
Is that a Hound line?
Edwin loves the Hound.
I love the Hound, but that was actually Selmy. That was actually Barristan Selmy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What was Hound's line? You're a talker, Malin. Talkers make me thirsty. And I can't say the rest of that scene because this is a family show.
Yeah. It is indeed.
But if you look at the Hound, I think he's the only one of the high-level characters that's not titled. He's not a knight. He despises the nobility because they have these particular ideals and they embody none of them. And so he refuses the associated titles.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He's like you, Malin.
Yeah. But I'll take them. Go ahead. Throw those titles on me. Go ahead. The awards. The accolades. I'll take it. I'll take it all.
Sir Malin. Now Malin has to cosplay as like a Game of Thrones character whenever we have the Comicsgate comic convention.
We have a request here, Edwin. Can you sing "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch"?
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch, and I cannot recall the lyrics. Let's see. Grinch.
You really are a heel.
Yeah, see, if Edwin looks up the lyrics, we can get him to do the whole song.
That's what it's all about. Tommy Sarkinen, what is Mike drawing? I am drawing inking, page 39. 39. That means 8 pages to go after this. Right? No, wait. 9 pages to go after this. Sorry. I math glitched. 9 pages to go.
That's awesome, though.
No. Almost
Let's see.
there. I can almost
says Sir Malin of Gondor or Sir John of Malin. You're gonna have to cosplay now, John.
Dennis keeps trying to get me to reveal page 35.
Mm.
What's
Is there a
special about page
spoiler on that?
35?
I said it was a spoiler page, so I wasn't going to show it. And he's like,
Yeah, no, don't show any of the spoiler pages because that stuff's fun. You've got some twists in there that are actually good surprises. So, yeah.
you know, I was actually thinking, going through the story, I might be able to just finish it in 2 books. Maybe not 48 pages, maybe something like 56 or 62 pages, but maybe not having to stretch it to all the way to 3 books. And then everybody can get the story finished up a little quicker, and I can move on to either the next property or the next Lone Star. It depends.
And that's not a bad choice because that would make for a nice book because that would have you'd have to plot it judiciously, right? To fit it even if you expand it to 56, you'd have to do it judiciously, but that would be a meaty book, right?
Yeah.
Because you'd have so much action and so much story development crammed in there. It'd be good.
Yeah. And then I could free myself up. You know, I'm not a big, splash page, double page spread guy, but I know that, the audience likes the eye candy. So
That's what I like.
I know you like it, John. I'm talking about the audience.
I am the audience. I'm a $80 backer.
Oh, okay. Well, since John likes it, I'll have to throw some extra,
And then,
pages that take me a
then
week
you can
to
Easter egg my name in there and be like, for John.
There's gonna be either if I do it all in one book, there's gonna that scene towards the end, right before the big reveal, or like that whole that big epic scene at the end, Edwin, where like it'd be I swear if I did a double page spread it might take me 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Do it. It won't take you 2 weeks, Mike. You're fast.
Yeah.
With that one double page spread you did take all week.
A week, yeah.
You know what my editor used to tell me when I'd come in with story ideas? He'd say, "That's great. Do it in 1 book." And I'd be like, "Oh man, do it in 1 book. You just took 4 books and cut me down to 1. Okay, how am I going to do that?"
Cutting room floor, man. Cutting room floor.
Gotta condense. So, outside of Tyrion, though, at the beginning, I was firmly on Team Joffrey. And, look, hey, look, he's a kid. He got put into a bad position. He probably handled it about as well as he could, and then he was done wrong. So if Tyrion doesn't make the throne in the end, I'm hoping Joffrey can make a comeback. With all the resurrection, I think it's going to be possible.
This is your shtick, isn't it? This is your shtick. You hate freaking Jimi Hendrix. You love Joffrey.
Can I just say real fast to the chat, I just hit 70 subscribers. Thank you so much for helping me reach my goal tonight.
Yay.
Hey, awesome.
But we just crossed today 3,000.
Oh wow.
3,000.
Rub it in, Mitch. Rub it in.
Well, as soon as Mitch's went live, I subscribed. I was one of the first. Because, I want The Futurist so bad. I've been craving that book.
It's coming. It's coming. Mark and I just talked to Mark Pellegrini yesterday. And so we're going to get serious about turning what's in my head into a real deal script and then start feeding it to Butch, who has just a small commitment in front of him. And it's kind of open-ended. So he's going to be able to work on our pages. And those pages will be previewed soon, I hope, on an Indiegogo.
Yeah, those concept pages you've been doing over the last few years, it's got that Johnny Quest, Lawrence of Arabia vibe to it, and I'm digging it.
Thank you. Well, that's the vibe.
Yeah. Hey, Mitch, did you see today the breakdown pages I posted for Oh, did you see him, Edwin, for Nuclear Family?
Oh, I did see those. Those looked good.
Oh yeah. No, those were good. Is he rolling on that now? Has he already gotten started?
Well, he's gonna do a little 4-page vignette that I wrote. The whole garbage person thing was just sort of a nod to to us.
So, explain this to me. I saw this on Richard's Twitter today. What
You mean
is
this? Trump's Space Force, or no, that's the other one.
Titans.
Trump's Titans versus
Yeah.
the
Who
look,
did this?
that's cover too. It's by Keenspot, Chris Crosby.
Oh, cool.
So somebody posted it up, and they're like, who did this crap? It's like they're talking crap about Comicsgate, and then they're like, well, they're talking crap about everybody, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the gig, right?
Yeah.
Roast. It's kind of a roast type of a book. I made the point. It's like, but we're the people who have the self-effacing sense of humor, who can laugh at jokes that are at our expense, right? It's the other side. It's the other people that try to burn down houses and stuff if you insult them.
The caricatures are actually pretty good.
Oh, they are. I like that. That was cute.
That is
Very
horrible.
cute.
That doesn't- and Ethan looks all like jacked.
Yeah, Ethan kind of looks like Ethan, but I don't know what's going on with Mike's face right there.
I know. They really
You've got quite a few teeth in your mouth there, but that's pretty good.
that 5 head though. Jeez. It's coming up.
And then Cecil's in the background? Jeez.
Yeah. That's the great part. Here, let me lock it on your screen so people can see.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's Trump's Titans, guys. Anybody in the chat, if you want to go to your, there's a bunch of different versions, different covers. He sent me these before they even came out. So, I'm not even here. You want to look at this? This is the Trump versus diversity. This is the villain. The villain of the book is diversity.
Diversity. That's great.
I'm going to have to get that.
Yeah, so.
The coolest thing for me, though, was when I was in My Hero Macadamia.
Oh, nice.
And then before that, a few years before that, I'm actually in an issue of The Shadow by David Liss.
Cool.
But you can't be thin-skinned. You got to be willing to laugh at yourself and stuff.
Absolutely.
Because that's where corporate comics got in trouble, because they feel like they've separated themselves out, right? They've separated themselves out. They've abstracted the relationship between them and their customers, and you can see these circles. It's kind of, I won't even say anybody by name, but you can see how some of the pros cultivate these validation circles to come in on Twitter or social media, and just supply an endless stream of ego validation. And then when somebody comes in and says something differently, it's like they have an existential crisis.
They're incapable of laughing at themselves.
Yeah.
So we are the better people.
What we ought to do is a big parody comic book of the industry, where like you have like maybe Bill Sienkiewicz as the self-anointed high priest of comic books, and
He can be the Joffrey.
yeah, maybe we should do this a parody book of the industry.
Oh, that would be funny. That would be funny. Corporate comics.
Yes, corporate comics, and it's like an inside peek at corporate comics, and it's like this. It is what it is. It's a overly packed office that's untidy and unclean and slovenly, and everybody's.
No. I think we should take it remove it by one step and do like a Game of Thrones parody.
I was going to
I like
say
it.
that.
Yeah.
I was going to say that. Totally Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Okay, I dig it.
Who's
Well,
going to be the
what would
midget?
it be called?
It's gotta be.
Mark Waid.
Well, hang on now.
Wait,
Peter
no,
Dinklage is a sympathetic character, so it has to be it has to be somewhat sympathetic.
For now.
Okay, who's the well he is the protagonist of the story in many ways.
I think it probably should be Mark Waid because Peter Dinklage is going to kill everybody off and put
Be a
himself
little
on the
midget
throne.
Ethan.
Yeah, there we go. It's Ethan. I like it. And instead of booze, he's addicted to pie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. I love it. And who are you gonna be? Who are you gonna be, Mike Miller?
Drogo.
Drogo. Okay, well, we're gonna have a problem because I think Elizabeth will be Daenerys, and I'll be Jon Snow, and this isn't gonna work.
I got Jon Snow. Sorry. Same name, same spelling. I mean,
Edwin is Barristan Selmy.
I'll take it.
we'll just have to find a character named Mitch for you, Mitch.
Yeah, well, that'd be fun, I guess. I guess.
You can be what's his face? The Jorah.
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 Hodor.
I could take that. Hodor. Hodor.
Andrew can be Hodor.
I'll take it.
I don't know.
I'll die an honorable death.
Oh, no. It has to be Zach.
Who's Littlefinger?
Ooh, who is Littlefinger?
So some type of really.
Is that Rich Johnson?
Fox Day.
No, we don't want him to
claim
know.
King's Landing for my own.
Copyrighted.
Copyrighted King's Landing. You cannot take it. It's mine. And you will be for Lord.
Oh my
His
gosh.
chair is the throne.
Like,
His chair is the throne.
this
Fox
this
Day's
book
chair
would sell
is the throne.
$1 million if we crowdfunded this book.
I think we could do it. I think we should maybe put some serious thought into this.
Oh no. Comicsgate is coming, Jon Snow.
So the White Walkers are what? The SJWs?
Yes.
Yes.
Social justice walkers. Oh,
Social
that's pretty
justice
good.
walkers. And they
Oh,
walk with
that's
picket signs and stuff.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Nurkish is one of the White Walkers. Nurkish could be Cold Hands.
Yeah, Chad is going crazy over it. Please do this. Yeah.
Yeah. And the Night's Watch will be like all the YouTube guys that were there for a long time, like Tug and Yellow Flash and Doug Ernst and all these guys, right?
Oh, Cummings should be the person who goes north of the wall and gets lost. That would be funny.
That's Cold Hands.
Oh.
But he comes back.
Oh, well, maybe Cummings will come back.
Yeah. We'll do it.
so much
We'll do it,
potential.
definitely.
Yeah.
For sure. This is freaking right up my alley, man. Dang.
Can Cecil be Dinklage? Oh, that kind of makes sense.
Okay. Granted, we don't have to let people get killed, so we could do something like make Ethan Robert Baratheon.
That would work.
And he's married to Cersei Lannister at the outset, who is what's her name? Gail Simone.
Perfect.
Oh, hey, yeah. Mags Osaggio can be Renly.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of potential there, though. Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta rewatch this stream and write all this stuff down.
You got like how many people watching? I'm sure one of them can write it down.
Oh, who is Reek Greyjoy? Who is Reek?
Oh man.
Oh, he could be Cummings.
He's a he turns on people. So wouldn't that be Richard Pace?
Oh.
Who's Richard Pace?
Yeah,
But-
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Not a big enough character. Not a big enough character. Yeah.
No, but how about Cummings? Because he started out. Well, he hasn't.
He's too sympathetic. Cummings
Yeah.
is a sympathetic figure.
Mags is Reek.
Oh no.
This Mark says Vox already wrote it and copyrighted it.
that might making just because of the story dynamic there, making Mags Reek maybe a little bit too on the nose.
Oh,
That may be too on the nose, Miller.
or some other appendage. EVS is Jamie. I think Mitch is Jamie.
Jamie Lannister. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would Heather Antos be in this?
The crazy woman who has the little boy who's suckling on her teeth. Throws people out the moon door when she gets bad.
Oh.
Tully, what's her name?
Yeah. Oh, too funny. Well, Miller, I'm gonna have to go, man. I'm gonna eat some dinner and then I'm gonna head down to Waikiki for this job.
All right, brother.
Go
Yeah,
on.
it's 11:30, so I should probably wrap this up. But yeah, dude, keep the ideas coming, because
Yeah, there's something here.
it's just gonna be a one-off
we could
affair.
raise $250,000 for this.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
There's enough characters throughout the community on both sides to do it.
And I've trademarked it, so I'll cut all you guys in though, so don't worry.
Aloha, gentlemen.
All right, Aloha.
Later, Edwin. Yeah, that's fun. That's a fun idea.
Oh man, that would be too funny. Pixel Trader says, "I want a piece of this."
You're gonna draw that whole thing out, Mike?
Well, I'm not sure.
You know what? You might as well just get Timothy Lim on it. He's already got everyone's likenesses down.
Tim's busy.
Well, we'll make him busier.
Actually, the guy I have doing, well, we'll figure it out. We can't figure it all out right now. But
We should definitely put some of the proceeds here to charity. For sure.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
for charity.
we'll definitely have to get a ton of these to the troops.
Well, if it's going to charity, just be sure some of it goes to the John Malin Foundation. So
Yeah, we will all start foundations. Yeah.
yeah. So I promise to help someone out somewhere.
All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. It's 11:30. It's been going for an hour and a half, I think.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks guys for being here. One at a time, starting with Andrew. Pitch your stuff again.
Okay, I've got the Knox coming out. It's going to be on Indiegogo. You can follow me on Twitter at Andrew P. Anderson, and like and subscribe me on YouTube here.
John Malin.
John Malin. You can find me on Twitter at John Malin. I'm on YouTube. Also under John Malin. I have the Graveyard Shift Indiegogo. We're about to cross 61,000. So if you haven't backed it, please do. And that's about it.
Mitch Brightweiser.
All right. Red Rooster, Golden Age on Indiegogo, still in an in-demand store. You don't want to miss it out on that. M. Brightweiser on Twitter and Instagram, and The Last Comic Book Artist on YouTube.
And as always, I am Mike S. Miller, Blacklist Universe. If you have not already, please subscribe. If you have not hit the like button, what are you waiting for? The show's over, so hit it on your way out the door if you would. I appreciate it very much. Subscribe if you have not already. And LoneStarComic.com is my book on Indiegogo. Head on over there. Check it out if you haven't seen it before. If you like it, please support it. I'm 9 pages away from wrapping the sucker up and getting it off to your grubby little hands. So thanks everybody for being here. Edwin's not here to do his normal thing, but everybody be nice to one another. You only get one shot at life. Have a good one.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night, guys.